To what's already been said, I do want to make mention of again the deadline to school, and that deadline to bring items as well as donations was set for today. Amen. And I trust that you are taking care of that. Amen. Amen. And then of course we've already gone through the intercessory prayer. But another request, as Sister Adams would say, pray for Brother Roy. Amen. That God will continue to touch his body. Amen. And bring forth deliverance. Now, for the word. Amen. In this, the 32nd chapter, Genesis, and we're going to call your attention again. This was some very good and very interesting reading. Amen. And as many times as I have gone to this particular passage, each time you look at things a little bit differently and see things in a better way. Amen. Amen. And in the 28th verse again, and he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. Amen. Amen. Embrace your destiny. Embrace your destiny. Before we get deep into our message, a couple of things that I'm going to make clear or clearer. Jacob was a trickster, a schemer. His name, Jacob, in the Hebrew text means heel catcher, supplanter, cheater, deceiver. Amen. Even the word supplanter carries with it the idea of one who comes from below and trips up another in order to supersede or to replace. Amen. Amen. And this is what God told Jacob. You would no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. And Israel means having power with God and men. It means God's fighter and prevailed. Amen. Amen. Let's see how this works its way into our embracing our future or our destiny. Amen. Embrace your destiny. After 20 years of living with his father-in-law Laban, Jacob finally after getting a bit disgusted with the fact that his father-in-law did not show him the favor he wanted to receive, Jacob goes to God and the Lord spoke to him and told him it's time that you would return to the promised land. Amen. This is found in chapter 31, verse 3, where the Lord told Jacob to return to the promised land. So Jacob took his wives, his children, and his flocks to return. Amen. At the time when God spoke to him and told him to go back to the promised land, Jacob was then suddenly filled with fear. For he was now remembering the wrong that he had done Esau, his brother, 20 years before. Amen. He's also thinking about the hatred that Esau had toward him. Amen. Somebody might be dealing with some of this stuff yourself. Jesus. Wrongs that you've done. Hatred that's been building. Amen. Yes. And God's getting ready to take our lives to another level. All right. Amen. So that we can get past a whole lot of unnecessary stuff that's been keeping us from our destiny. Amen. Jacob had produced guilt as a result of the wrong that he had done, and rightly so. Amen. As well as terror starting to resurface in his spirit. The thought of meeting his angry brother drove Jacob to the Lord in prayer. Yes. Amen. Which is not a bad thing. Amen. Some things we need to take to God. Amen. Amen. And if God has to allow bad things to happen, so we will find ourselves humble before him, then so be it. Amen. The thought of meeting his angry brother drove Jacob to the Lord in prayer. And when he prayed, it's recorded as being Jacob's longest prayer that he had ever prayed up till now. Amen. At this particular point, in verse 9 of the textual chapter, Jacob in the prayer reminded God